Want to run it 2 in one night?
Yeah. What's the one?
What's up? You want to run it 2 in one night?
Right in front.
You want to
Good.
run it 2 in one night?
Absolutely.
So let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Yes, sir.
Get the paperwork for this bomb.
Get Al Hammond.
Absolutely. I don't need Al Hammond.
Let me call Al Hammond.
I'm my own boss. I'm my own
2 in
boss.
one night. Got your hat.
At Jake Paul's much-awaited press conference for his upcoming fight against Gervonta Tank Davis in Las Vegas, an unexpected scene unfolded when Floyd Mayweather suddenly interrupted, grabbed the mic, and accused Jake Paul of fixing fights. The shocking outburst completely stole the spotlight, especially since just moments earlier, Davis had been speaking calmly about his focus and preparation for the biggest fight of his career.
My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that matters to me.
My mindset is in a much better place now, Davis said. That's all that matters to me. But what started as calm confidence quickly turned into high drama, with Jake Paul, Floyd Mayweather, and Gervonta Davis now tangled in a web of rivalry, pride, and accusations. The tension has drawn in some of boxing's biggest names, as legends like Manny Pacquiao, Terence Crawford, and Shakur Stevenson have all shared their opinions on who they think will ultimately dominate.
But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
The real chaos began at what was supposed to be a routine media day in Las Vegas. Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis were calmly discussing their training and fight preparation when the mood flipped entirely. Out of nowhere, Floyd Mayweather showed up uninvited, setting off a frenzy of flashing cameras and shouting fans. At first, people thought it might be a staged moment, but the tension became real the second Floyd took the microphone. He accused Jake Paul of adding hidden clauses to his contracts and paying opponents to take dives, turning a simple press event into a full-blown boxing scandal.
Everybody should be treated fair, and everybody should be on the even playing field. So I flew to Mexico to meet with the WBC, to meet with different referees, different officials, so fighters can be treated fair.
Floyd's explosive claim that many of Jake's opponents agreed to lose in exchange for a good contract sent shockwaves through the room. The crowd instantly erupted, some booing, others cheering, as chaos took over. Floyd didn't stop there. He went on to accuse Jake of dodging proper drug tests and hinted that the YouTuber-turned-boxer wasn't fighting clean. Gasps filled the air, reporters leaned closer, and the tension became almost physical. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis stayed calm and composed, clearly uninterested in the drama. His focus never wavered. His mind was locked on the real challenge ahead, the fight itself.
All right, Tank, you're giving up 40 pounds, 50 pounds to Jake. Considering he's much bigger, is this one of the biggest challenges of your career? Do you feel?
I can't say right now. I ain't been in the ring with him.
As Floyd, his former mentor, stole the spotlight and tried to dominate the moment, Gervonta Tank Davis didn't say a word. His silence spoke louder than any outburst could. While Mayweather focused on tearing Jake Paul down, Tank stayed composed, channeling his energy into something bigger, building his own legacy, separate from the man who once took credit for creating him. As the media went wild over Mayweather's accusations, Gervonta Davis quietly shifted the focus back to what really matters, his dominance in the ring. Speaking with calm confidence, he said, "My headspace is way better than before. His size, his power, the way he moves, I just have to adapt." It was the voice of a fighter who's weathered storms before, a man hardened by experience and ready to prove once again why he's one of boxing's most dangerous champions.
My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that matters to me.
Undefeated at 30-0 with 28 knockouts, Gervonta Davis isn't just a fighter. He's a survivor of the sport's politics, manipulation, and personal battles. Across the ring, Jake Paul, the internet's boldest showman, made a surprising confession to TMZ. "Internally, I'm the most scared going into a fight that I've ever been." It was an unexpected moment of honesty, a reminder that even the loudest and most confident personalities can't hide their fear when the stakes are real.
Actually, internally, like, I'm the most scared going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is. It's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Despite their differences, both men share one unshakable trait: absolute belief in their craft. Davis relies on precision and discipline, while Paul draws strength from raw power and confidence. Inside that press room, it became clear that respect between them didn't translate to mercy. As the atmosphere grew heavier, the boxing world began to divide, with legends and fans alike taking sides in what's shaping up to be one of the sport's most talked about clashes.
See Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
Not a lot of people have talked about Jake and said he's got good power. Not even and I get anything could technically happen, but you don't even see a realistic shot where he could land one big punch, and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power.
Nah, not at all. I think Tank is he's been boxing his whole life. He's been boxing since a kid, so I doubt like that's gonna be an issue or problem. I think Jake is good for where he's at, but I think it's just levels.
Shakur Stevenson, famous for his sharp boxing brain, threw his weight behind Davis, saying that if he were in Tank's shoes, he'd simply outsmart and outbox him. Fight smart, make it look easy.
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't going to be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over with.
Terrence Crawford, widely regarded as boxing's pound-for-pound king, saw things differently. Speaking on the Full Send podcast, he said, "Jake's too big for Tank. He's not as slow as people think. If he lands that right hand, it's over." Two elite fighters, two opposite predictions, and that's exactly what makes this matchup so compelling. On one side stands Davis, the knockout artist who's crushed veterans twice his size. On the other, Jake Paul, the disruptor who silenced critics and reshaped how people view boxing's new era. Every opinion, every debate, adds fuel to the storm that's building toward fight night.
Floyd Mayweather, you punch-drunk idiot. Read my lips. Oh, wait, you can't. Where's my money, bitch? Floyd never paid me for our fight. Who am I, the IRS? You can't dodge taxes like you do punches, dummy. Floyd, how can you call yourself the GOAT?
Here's where the story takes a deeper turn. Floyd Mayweather's explosive outburst wasn't just an attack on Jake Paul. It was also a reflection of his own crumbling image. The man once known as Money Mayweather, who built his empire on wealth and success, now finds himself surrounded by whispers of unpaid debts, lawsuits, and tax troubles. The controversy first reignited when Logan Paul claimed he was never fully paid for their 2021 exhibition fight, casting a long shadow over Mayweather's spotless legacy.
How you feel about someone making those type of accusations?
That comes with the territory.
Right.
And you got to realize, when you used to getting, to them, that's real money. And I like YouTube because I don't mind getting a YouTube check.
Shit, we getting a YouTube check.
Right.
This is going to be a big YouTube check.
Yeah, so, the money is not coming fast enough. That's why, when they say money on the back end, as far as pay-per-view, it take a while.
Floyd, of course, denied the allegations, explaining that payments take time because of complex pay-per-view revenue structures. But as months passed, more stories began to surface. Rumors that he owed millions in unpaid taxes and was still under pressure from the IRS. Even former world champion Tim Bradley chimed in, saying Mayweather never lived as if retirement was real, always spending like the money would keep flowing forever.
And he shouldn't trip. If he feel like he done great numbers and we done record-breaking numbers, then I understand. Nothing comes right away. Just like I'm still collecting checks from fights 7 or 8 years ago. I'm still collecting checks. Why? Because I made smart moves and I'm my own boss. So they hate when the tables turn. Look how many years they've been owing us money. But we don't never trip. So now when the tables turn, they say, "Oh, you owe us something." Be happy with the biggest payday you ever got in your life.
So when Floyd stormed into that press conference accusing Jake Paul of being a fraud, it felt like a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black. And no one grasped that irony better than Gervonta Davis. Years ago, Davis was Floyd's prized protege, his golden boy, the chosen heir to carry on his legacy. But behind the smiles, staged photos, and public praise, their relationship was far from perfect.
I was in a lose-lose situation. Now,
What
came out still on top.
with Floyd? What was the lose-lose situation? What you mean?
Just it was a situation that he put me in to, make me lose. But he thought I was gonna lose. But
You talking about like a boxing match or?
yeah, boxing match.
Ooh, if you don't mind. If you don't want to, it's fine.
Pedraza. Joseph Pedraza, my first world title. I was 16-0. I was 16-0. And
Davis has since opened up about his time under Mayweather Promotions, claiming he was underpaid, underpromoted, and tightly controlled. At one point, he said he earned as little as $10,000 per fight despite his growing fame. And when he dared to speak out, Floyd allegedly retaliated by keeping him inactive for months, a move that nearly derailed his career before it ever had the chance to take off.
21 at the time. And I haven't fought in like 7 or 8 months. Around that time, I wasn't making that much money. I probably was making like $10,000 a fight. So 6 months is crazy to not fight, So when they came back and it was like, all right, you gotta fight this fighter, which is Joseph Pedraza. If you don't fight him, you're not fighting. You sitting on the.
In Davis's own words, he gave me crumbs, just enough to keep me coming back. So imagine the tension when that same mentor, the man who once controlled his every move, walked into his biggest press conference and hijacked the moment. This wasn't just drama, it was years of personal history exploding in public. The mentor had returned, not to lift up his former protege, but to remind him who once held the power. Yet this time, Tank didn't flinch. He didn't argue. He simply smiled, adjusted his mic, and said, "The only thing that matters to me is where my headspace is now." That calm wasn't weakness, it was growth. Because while Mayweather may have taught him how to fight, Davis is now proving he's learned how to stand on his own.
Easy. Let's make it $1 million.
Whoa.
Let's make it 2.
Jake.
Just when it seemed like the chaos had reached its peak, Jake Paul decided to turn up the heat. What began as harmless banter quickly spiraled when he casually proposed a $500,000 side bet during an interview. Tank laughed it off at first, but Jake, wearing that trademark smirk, kept pressing. The playful wager doubled to $1 million, then 2, and suddenly, what started as a joke turned into a high-stakes challenge that had everyone watching lean in a little closer.
Let's make it 2. $1 million total. Yeah.
Shake on it. Jake, $1 million.
2 mil? 2 mil? 2 mil. Let's do it.
Right here, 2. 2 mil.
Jake.
Easy work, bro.
2 mil? Oh, they're shaking. They're shaking, Lefty.
2 mil.
There we go.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
$2 million.
On camera, the two sealed the deal with a firm handshake, a $2 million, winner-takes-all side bet that instantly turned their clash into one of the priciest bragging rights battles in boxing history. But the real shock came a week later when reports revealed that one of the 3 judges would be AI-assisted, a first for professional boxing. The new system, built by a sports analytics firm, uses algorithms to track punches, movement, and ring control with pinpoint accuracy. Supporters hailed it as the future of fair judging, while critics warned it could be a dangerous gamble. And here's the twist: if the fight goes the distance, the AI's data could serve as the tiebreaker. For Jake Paul, that could mean long-awaited validation, proof that he's more than just a social media fighter. But for Gervonta Davis, it could spell disaster if a machine, not a human, ends up deciding the outcome of the biggest fight of his career.
Below my knees and a lot of speed. We're sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything,
Let's be honest. In a sport driven by instinct, emotion, and raw human will, letting an algorithm decide the outcome feels like playing with fire. But just as the chaos surrounding Jake Paul and Mayweather reached its peak, a new name suddenly entered the picture. One that shifted the entire conversation and changed the tone of the story in an instant.
Who else he might fight. Again, the Rolly deal is not done yet, and I spoke to his advisor, Sean Gibbons, who runs Manny Pacquiao's promotional company. He said the 3 names they're looking at are Rolly Romero, Gervonta Davis, and Conor Benn. So Conor Benn obviously is going to be fighting Chris Eubank Jr. in a rematch November 15th.
Manny Pacquiao. According to insider Mike Coppinger, Pacquiao's team has their sights set on 3 potential opponents for the Filipino legend's return: Rolando "Rolly" Romero, Conor Benn, and Gervonta "Tank" Davis. And if Tank gets past Jake Paul, that's the fight his camp wants next: Pacquiao versus Davis. A true generational showdown that could reshape boxing's future. For Pacquiao, it's about legacy. For Davis, it's about validation, a chance to silence doubters and finally step out from under Mayweather's shadow once and for all. Beating Jake Paul might prove he's elite, but beating Pacquiao would immortalize his name in boxing history.
On this show last week, Ben told us he's coming back to 47 no matter what.
Yep.
And we have Gervonta Davis, who of course has the exhibition with Jake Paul, also in November. And those are the fights for Manny right now. Whether it's the first fight or the second fight, those are the guys he's looking at.
What I will say though,
when you step back and look at it all, Floyd's explosive accusations, Jake's rare admission of fear, and Tank's steady confidence, it's clear this is no longer just a boxing match. It's pride, revenge, and legacy colliding under the Vegas lights. Mayweather's need for control, Jake Paul's hunger to prove he belongs, and Gervonta Davis's fight for respect all intersect in a story that's bigger than belts or money. For Floyd, it's about power. For Jake, it's about legitimacy. And for Tank, it's about finally breaking free from the shadow of the man who once claimed to have built him. This fight is pure grit, focus, and redemption. So as the countdown to Vegas continues, one question lingers: will Tank's precision silence the critics, or will Jake Paul shock the world one more time? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Alright, guys, for the latest boxing news, highlights, and in-depth coverage, make sure to subscribe to Knockout Updates and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. Check out our other videos for more great content, and until next time, peace out.